What is up, everyone? I'm coming on here for a couple of plays for today. Now, I will say today's video is going to be a little bit quicker, a little bit more rapid fire today, just because I'm busy with some things later today. So I do want to get this video out as soon as possible for you guys. I will say that we cashed, I believe this is a 5x right here that we went ahead and cashed with this check game. And I sent this one out, I believe I sent this out on Thursday. Okay, so this was Thursday right here on this channel. We took Viper to go under 17.5. He ends up bumping down to 16.5. And then in this game, he only gets 6 kills because their team, I believe, went 1 and 2. So they only won 1 out of the 3 games, which is what I said with Wii. BLG is a very good team, but Wii's kind of been on fire recently. Now, BLG actually ends up 3-2ing, so they actually come back and win the series, but it doesn't matter. All we care about is the first 3 maps, right? So Viper ends up going way under at 6. We do go ahead and cash that one there. And then this one over here on the top right of the screen is also a pick that I sent out on this channel. I believe I sent this all the way back on Monday or Tuesday. So hopefully you guys did get this in. Again, it was with Viper and Yun over, and this was actually a game that happened earlier in the week. So League of Legends goes on pretty much every day. So these guys are constantly playing games, constantly having series. So again, Viper under, we took Viper under again. This was earlier in the week. This one was last night. So it doesn't matter, but either way, we do have this guy hopefully to go under pass attempts. And this Qatar Switzerland game is going to be massive for us. We have about 3 setups going in this game. I do think Switzerland possesses the ball a lot, causing Qatar to not have many pass attempts and then causing Switzerland to have a lot of pass attempts, right? It is very simple stuff. When you have the ball a lot, you're going to possess the ball a lot. When you don't have the ball a lot, you're not going to possess the ball a lot, right? And I will say that the guy that we took him under 35.5, and he is now bumped down to 31.5, okay? So these are bumps. They mean something, right? They mean something. It just means that PrizePicks knows that we got it at good value, and now it's at 31.5. And 4 passes down is a huge difference, right? That could mean the difference between hitting and missing an entry. For example, Serginho Dest on the USA, probably one of the best performers on the USA last night. And hopefully you guys did watch the game, because if you watch that game, US possessed the ball like 70 to 75% of the game. Now you might be seeing Dest, he ends up going under, and you're like, well, they possessed the ball 70 to 75% of the game. How in the world did Dest go ahead and get so little passes? Well, there's one thing, is that he played winger in this game. He played like left wing, and normally he plays left back, or maybe it was right wing and he plays right back, but normally he plays more of a defensive role, and they put him way up in the front. So a little bit unlucky. If you're playing more of an attacking role, you're not going to get as many passes, just because you're just not really a part of that passing system. Some of the backfield, some of the defenders got like 80 passes in this game. And then another thing is that Dest gets taken out of the game in about the 70th minute, okay? So it's unfortunate, because if Dest would have played the whole game, the whole 90 minutes, which normally he does, again, if he's playing more of a defensive role, because they don't sub out these defenders as much as they do the attackers. A lot of times the subs are going to come for the attackers, and he was playing an attacking role. So, it is what it is, guys, right? This is the stuff that sometimes does happen in soccer. You have to understand that it's part of the game. Subbing is part of the game, right? There's about 3 to 4 subs that you're able to make a day. A game, and they did have a water break, and then after that water break, I was like, he should be good to go, but then after the water break, they go ahead and sub him out, which is unfortunate. And then right here in League of Legends, we missed this guy by 1 kill, man. We've had so many 1 kill misses in League of Legends recently, but I will say we have a setup for this Haiti-Scotland game, we have a setup for this Netherlands-Japan game, and then again, Switzerland-Qatar, and then Switzerland-Qatar right here. And then here is an example of opposite correlation in CFL, and then League of Legends hitting together, right? So as I explained in yesterday's video, which I think I forgot to post yesterday's pick, but it did miss with the 2 opposite CFL players. But again, a couple days ago we gave this one out, and this hits for a 5x. But as I said in yesterday's video, guys, you want to think about these guys in pairs, right? So you have a League of Legends pair right here, it goes ahead and hits, and then you have a CFL pair that goes ahead and misses. And the CFL pair, how it ends up happening is this guy is actually the one that gets way more receptions, and this is the guy that ends up going under his receptions, okay? So again, this is how CFL works. The player that gets a ton of receptions, the other player is not going to get as many receptions, vice versa. I will say, if you look at last game, so week 1, Tyler Snead gets like 9 receptions in that game. So Tyler Snead was the #1 receiver by far in week 1, and then week 2 it ends up being Philpott, and Philpott ends up getting 9 receptions, okay? So you can look at that on your own time if you really want to. But like I said, let's kind of get through this video and try to rapid fire through some of these picks. First pick of the day is going to be on NOVIG, guys, and it is going to be Brazil versus Morocco to go over 2.5 goals. Both of these teams are very, very good offensively, especially Brazil. They have some of the most world-class quality, attackers in the world. Their defense not as good. Morocco is also a very solid team. I think a lot of people are discounting Morocco and that they could potentially upset Brazil in this game. I was thinking maybe taking Brazil money line, but Morocco is a very solid team, right? And I actually do think Morocco could potentially steal this game 2-1. But I do think that this game at least goes to 3 goals because Brazil is just that good at attacking. Morocco also very good at attacking. And this is going to be my play of the day on NOVIG. If you guys do not have NOVIG yet, you can sign up with code DETECTIVE and you can get a $1 purchase with code DETECTIVE and go ahead and use that code. And if you put $1 into NOVIG today, you will get a free month of my VIP. Okay, so obviously that is an insanely good deal. I don't know how much longer they're going to be doing this, but use it while you can, right? So text me the word NOVIG to get signed up for that to my number on the screen. The second play of the day is going to be on BETR, and I went ahead and just screen recorded on my phone all the BETR entries we have taken, right? So you literally cannot get as transparent as this, for example, on BETR. I'm just scrolling through all the closed entries, right? And you're going to see some wins, some misses, but most of the time we are hitting entries on BETR. And actually yesterday's entry, which was with Pulisic, ends up getting refunded on BETR, okay? So I don't know if other apps would have done this, because what happens with Pulisic is he gets taken out at halftime because US was up like 3-0 already. So he gets taken out at halftime. They didn't have to refund it, but they did. So I'm happy that they did that for BETR. I mean, I can't complain there. And again, we've just been hitting a lot on BETR. There's nothing really else to say. And I tell you guys, you can make $200-$300 a month like clockwork on BETR, just taking these entries every day. All right. So Wimby discounted, and we're going to go ahead and take him. And then we're going to take Scrappy in Call of Duty. We're going to take him under 61 kills in maps 1-3. Really, really easy stuff, guys. All right, so let's get into the third pick of the day, which is going to be utilizing World Cup correlation as well as League of Legends, guys. Very simple stuff. Again, this is a 3-man that we just hit a couple days ago, or we just hit yesterday with the Viper play, and I gave it out a couple days ago. And then we might hit another one with the Qatar game happening in the next couple of hours here, okay? So Germany versus Curacao, I believe is how you say that country's name. And I just got to be honest, guys, Germany's probably going to possess the ball close to 80% of this game. Germany, one of the best teams in the World Cup, and they're just going to be completely dominant in possession. They're already a very possession-based team. And we have Joshua Kimmich, one of the best players in the world. We have Jonathan Tah, a very solid player in himself. And there's some games where they're playing actually better teams than this team. And Joshua Kimmich is putting up 120 passes, right? It's really hard to conceptualize how much more dominant Germany is, really. I mean, Germany is just going to completely dominate this game. There's no doubt in my mind. The only thing that I could see happen is if Kimmich comes out or Tah comes out or they get a red card or something crazy, or, potentially Germany goes up like 5-0 and then they like take their players out or they just stop trying or something, which shouldn't really happen because of the World Cup. But anyway, guys, Joshua Kimmich especially, I think his line is way too low right now. I think it should probably be in the high 80s. Yeah, just a really simple correlation right here, guys. You have both these players playing very close to each other. I'm taking both their overs, and the more that they pass, the more possession they have. Again, you should be able to see them have 75% possession plus in this game, right? Anything lower than that, I'd honestly be a little bit disappointed in Germany. But if they do have 70+% possession, they should easily go ahead and hit this line. I know they're high lines, guys, but I mean, you have I think you have like Netherlands, and I forgot who they play, and you have like Switzerland, Qatar, and you have some of these players that are like in the 80s, on Switzerland, like in the high 90s, in the hundreds even on teams like Switzerland, and then you have Germany, and it's like I don't know why these guys' lines are in the 80s still, really, because they honestly should be close to 100 at this point. And I think you have a really good opportunity to this game's happening tomorrow, but you have a good opportunity to get these lines in as soon as possible and get them in while they're still in the low 80s or high 80s, for example, for Tah, okay? So very simple stuff, guys. The more they possess the ball, the more they're going to pass, right? Super, super simple, and hopefully you guys do understand how the World Cup and how soccer correlation does work. Now, in League of Legends, we're going to take these guys under 25 kills. Doran, Owner, Faker. They're playing Gen.G, okay? And I've talked about Gen.G before. They're the #1 team in the world, bar none. They're like the 2018 Warriors. They're just really, really insanely good. They have the best player in the world on Gen.G. They've faced a couple of times, and T1, also a very good team. They're probably top 5, but they're nowhere close to Gen.G, guys. You'll see T1 has a 34% chance of winning this game. And what I think is going to happen, it's very simple, is I think T1 is going to get 1-2'd, okay? So I think T1 is going to win one game, and then Gen.G is going to win the other 2 games. And how that works, guys, is if you lose the majority of your games, you're probably going to go under. If you win the majority of your games, so for example, if T1 sweeps Gen.G or something, which would be crazy, that would be like insane. That would be like talked about in the League of Legends world if T1 does sweep Gen G. But then these guys would go over, of course. But if you guys do not know how League of Legends correlation works, it's super simple. If you win all of your maps, for example, so if you win more, so here's Faker, right? One of the best players in League of Legends. He's on T1. He's kind of like the Michael Jordan. And then you have Chovy on Gen G, who's the best team in the world, and he's kind of that new up and comer. Well, he's not even an up and comer. He's just really, really insanely good, right? Like a Jokic or something. And the more you win the games, the more kills you're going to get, right? But the less you win, so if he only wins one map, he's going to go under, right? If he loses all of his maps, this is what it's going to look like. And I could go through all these guys. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But again, this is how it looks in League of Legends, guys. When you win your games, you're going to go over. When you lose your games, you're going to likely go under, okay? So very simple stuff. I think that they get 1-2'd or they win one game and they lose 2 games, and they're going to go under together. So again, I would take this at 25 or 24.5. A lot of times these combination lines are close, right? You know, they're probably going to get like 22 or something like that. And it's going to be it's always going to be a close one when we have these combination props, right? So this is going to be my 3-man of the day, guys. Hopefully you guys like that entry there on BETR. This is the entry, and then I'm taking this Brazil game to go over 2.5 goals. All right. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. My number is everywhere on the screen right here. You can sign up for BETR, for NOVIG, for Sleeper, all these apps. You guys, if you do not have them, you can sign up, get a month or 2 free of the VIP, try it out. And that's going to be it for me today. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.